What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, Saul Canelo Alvarez, four-division world champion, undisputed super middleweight world champion, widely considered by many to be the face of the sport of boxing, is now, in my opinion, 59 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws, 40 wins by way of knockout. He is 32 years of age, 5'8" with a 70-inch arm reach. Canelo Alvarez defeats British super middleweight title contender John Ryder by 9th round stoppage victory. Okay? He beats him by 9th round stoppage victory. John Ryder is no walk in the park. John Ryder is 32 wins, 5 losses, no draws, 18 wins by way of knockout. One time in his career, he's knocked out. 34 years of age, 5'9" with a 72-inch arm reach. He lost to Caleb Smith. He lost to Rocky Fielding. And he lost to, Nick Blackwell via 7th round knockout victory, TKO victory. He, in my opinion, he's a southpaw. Okay, but he is not big enough. He's not, skilled enough to defeat Canelo Alvarez. You have to be skilled enough. You have to be big enough. You have to be dominant enough to beat Canelo Alvarez. And John Ryder is only an inch taller than Canelo Alvarez, only has a 2-inch arm reach advantage over Canelo Alvarez, and he comes forward. He's very aggressive. Canelo Alvarez, one of his biggest attributes is the fact that Canelo Alvarez can counterpunch very, very well, extremely well. Okay, he's extremely accurate with his punches and his combinations, and he's able to calculate what you're trying to do. He's able to pick you apart as the rounds go on. Okay, he's able to compute enough information and data where he can understand what you're trying to do. And at that point in time, by the time he makes that adjustment, he has an extremely high ring IQ. By the time he makes that adjustment, you start to fatigue, you start to slow down, you get more predictable, and that's what's going to happen. Canelo Alvarez, in front of his hometown in Guatemala, Mexico, Canelo Alvarez is going to be extremely motivated to win this fight. Canelo Alvarez is coming off a victory over Gennady Triple G Golovkin, a trilogy match. Okay, that was his biggest rival to date. They fought 3 times. They are Canelo won 1. They had a draw. No, excuse me. Canelo won 2, and they have a draw. Right. The first 2 fights was extremely close. The third fight was a domination by Canelo Alvarez. But that was Canelo Alvarez coming off of a loss, a shocking loss to many people, to undefeated WBA light heavyweight world champion, Russian superstar boxer Dmitry Bivol, to which Dmitry Bivol absolutely dominated Canelo Alvarez, winning all but maybe 2 to 3 rounds. Canelo Alvarez wasn't very successful in the fight with Dmitry Bivol, and he's looking to have that rematch in September, Mexican Independence Day weekend. With that said, this fight in his hometown, he hasn't been there in years. He's built up his record there, and now he's back home. Canelo Alvarez is absolutely 1,000% motivated. He's motivated to get to that rematch with Dmitry Bivol. He's not going to have any hiccups, and John Ryder's style is going to make for an exciting fight. But John Ryder's style is tailor-made for Canelo Alvarez, and Canelo Alvarez's counterpunch ability is going to give John Ryder all types of problems in the second half of the fight. In the first half of the fight, John Ryder does have longer arms. He is slightly taller. More importantly, he's a southpaw. And because he's a southpaw, in the beginning, that's going to give Canelo Alvarez some sort of problems, just like when Canelo Alvarez faced off against Billy Joe Saunders. Okay, when he faced off against Billy Joe Saunders, who was slightly taller, slightly longer arms, and a southpaw, that gave Canelo Alvarez a little bit of trouble early on in the beginning rounds. But as Canelo started to gauge and understand what Billy Joe Saunders was doing, just like he's going to do with John Ryder, then he starts to pick you apart, land combinations. He slips very well. He has a very, very interesting physical makeup, because he has extremely slow feet. but he cuts the ring off very well with a ring high IQ, and he has extremely fast hands, right? He puts combinations together well, but he bends at the hips and slips punches extremely well, right? So with that said, he's slicker and harder to hit than most people understand, right? And so John Ryder, and especially in the second half, when he starts to fatigue, he starts to get tired in the second half, John Ryder is going to find it extremely hard to find Canelo Alvarez, to land punches on Canelo Alvarez, and John Ryder is going to get countered a lot. And I think that in the ninth round, Canelo Alvarez is going to stop John Ryder in the ninth round en route to a rematch with Dimitri Bivol, which I think that's a fight that Canelo Alvarez once again is going to lose, because stylistically, I think Dimitri Bivol is a stylistic nightmare for Canelo Alvarez, whether that be at 168 or whether that be at 175. He's a problem for Canelo Alvarez because of his ability to counter punch. He has long arms. He's taller. And ultimately, his ring IQ, his ability to box, is just going to be too much for Canelo Alvarez. And I think Dimitri Bivol is going to beat Canelo Alvarez for a second time in a rematch, should that fight happen next. I would much rather see Canelo Alvarez fight against former two-time super middleweight undefeated world champion Mexican Ecuadorian superstar boxer David the Mexican Monster Benavidez. I think that Canelo Alvarez should fight him in September, and then towards the end of the year, take another shot at, a go at it with Dimitri Bivol. But I think right now, Canelo Alvarez should definitely focus on David Benavidez, get a few wins. He beat Gennady Golovkin, beat John Ryder, beat David Benavidez, because I think that Canelo Alvarez style is bad for David Benavidez, who lacks defense. He's not very slick with his defense. We saw when he fought against Caleb Plant in the first half of the fight, he was struggling to find Caleb Plant. He'll be struggling to find Canelo Alvarez as well. And Canelo Alvarez has heavier hands than Caleb Plant, just as fast hands. But I think that he don't fade in the second half like Caleb Plant does. I think he's more precise with his combinations and sits down on his punches and hurts you more. He has a better jab, and I think that Canelo Alvarez will actually beat David Benavidez. So I think that Canelo Alvarez should fight John Ryder and beat him tonight. And then he should fight David Benavidez in September. And at the end of the year, if you want to squeeze in another fight or wait until early next year, Cinco de Mayo 2024, then you fight Dimitri Bivol, or try your hand at Dimitri Bivol once more. Then I think to build up your confidence, build up your your resume again, and then go back in there with Dimitri Bivol, because he was definitely deflated by that loss to Dimitri Bivol. Nonetheless, John Ryder is a physical fighter. He's a come-forward fighter. He's an aggressive fighter. He's a southpaw, but he's not hard to hit. And Canelo Alvarez tonight is going to counter John Ryder all night, especially once he understands and gauges what John Ryder is attempting to do. He's going to counter him. He's going to slip him. He's going to hit him with combinations. He's going to hit him with big punches. And he's going to stop John Ryder in the ninth round in an entertaining fight, because in the first half of the fight, John Ryder is going to have success. He's going to find some success in the first half of the fight, because Canelo Alvarez is going to take a second for Canelo Alvarez to be able to understand the distance, understand John Ryder's angles from the southpaw stance, understand, his aggression, things of that nature. And once he gets his timing down, and gets his angles down, Canelo Alvarez is going to counter John Ryder with clean big punches, something like he did James Kirkland. And I think that he's going to get a ninth round stoppage victory over John Ryder, and the second knockout loss to John Ryder in his career. With that said, Canelo Alvarez, he beat Caleb Smith, who beat John Ryder. Now, the triangle theory don't work in the sport of boxing. We all know that. But there's things you can take from it. And John Ryder, has some serious holes that he needs to patch up, and he don't have time because he's stepping in the ring with Canelo Alvarez tonight. So I got Canelo Alvarez by a ninth round stoppage victory over John Ryder. I think he's going to put on a dazzling performance, and I think he's going to look to call out Dimitri Bivol. I much rather, again, let's see the Canelo Alvarez versus David Benavidez, who's big, who's athletic, who's strong, who has fast hands, and that'll better help him prepare for Bivol, although he's been in the ring with Bivol for 12 rounds. So let's see how that unfolds and plays out. But Canelo Alvarez by 9th round stoppage victory. That's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. So all I got for y'all, man. Canelo Alvarez, 9th round victory. I'm gone. Peace.